Representative Hargrove, a couple of your bills recently received hearings. How did those go?
Well, they happened exactly at the same time, so it was pretty interesting, me running between the committee meetings. The first one on the state need grant bill was kind of frustrating, although not completely surprising. I got feedback of, thank you, Mr. Hargrove, we appreciate your thoughts, your passion, and that kind of stuff, but we don't think we should pass this bill. And it was very frustrating because I am convinced that if that bill passes, we can have 8,000 young adults get a college education every year at no additional expense for the state. It is a common sense approach that funding education the way my constituents do, choosing to go to community college for the first 2 years and then finishing at a more expensive place. I still am very passionate about that, and I'm going to see this through. The second one about foster parents being notified about the hearings and making sure there's accountability in the courts and so on, I think that hearing went very well. There are various stakeholders that want to make some small amendments to that, and I just want to make sure those amendments don't water down the bill, that we really get accomplished what we want to. And so I'm meeting with another representative, in fact, in just a couple of hours to iron out another one of those, and I think that one's going to be on its way. I just want to make sure it's still a good bill by the time it's done.
During interim, the state Supreme Court ruled the public charter school system unconstitutional. You recently introduced a bill to help save the system. What would your bill do?
Well, the Supreme Court invalidated the initiative to allow charter schools in our state. And one of the problems that they had was with the way charter schools are funded. I co-sponsored a bill that would allow a different mechanism for funding charter schools, and this bill allows just one more alternative to fund charter schools through a B&O tax credit. This is an issue that I really want to hold on to. This is so important to the kids. There were kids already starting their charter schools, and all of a sudden the Supreme Court just jerked the rug out from under them. And these are quality schools that cater to the needs that these parents recognize that their kids need. And I'm committed to making sure that we satisfy the Supreme Court, that we keep charter schools in Washington State, and all of our kids are going to benefit as a result.
What's the latest on the Human Rights Commission situation?
Well, the unelected Human Rights Commission said that they were trying to make rules that would protect transgender individuals from discrimination or harassment and things like that. But what this has turned into is a more significant problem. The rulemaking by this unelected body would say that a naked man could walk through a women's locker room in front of little girls, and that would be totally legal. I think we can all recognize that that's a serious problem. The legislature, an elected body, is directed to make laws, and we have a law that says that indecent exposure is illegal. So you can see that there is a conflict here. The other problem that I have that we heard in testimony from the Human Rights Commission is how this was announced to the public. They seemed surprised that nobody showed up to the hearings on this. What they said was that, well, we put this on the code reviser's website for people to know about the meetings. I'm a legislator, and I have never been to the code reviser's website. So it was just a totally ineffective way to notify the public. The Human Rights Commission, I don't believe, actually posted what they were going to talk about at the meeting. So of course, nobody in the public was interested in the topic until they saw what had happened and how ridiculous this rulemaking is. So I co-sponsored, I believe, 3 bills to correct the error by the Human Rights Commission. Unfortunately, I'm told that the chair of the committee will not agree to hear any of those bills. Now, the Senate is working on their version, but again, if it comes to the House, it could be stopped there. So we're working with the Human Rights Commission to get them to change the rules themselves. There are multiple ways that we can change flawed policy, and I'm committed to making sure that happens.